You were on 2 years ago. We had a great conversation.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to start back in the beginning of your life and the uniqueness of your career. I was saying on the intro before you came on, you can't really go to school for what you do. You can't. Maybe you can. Do you think you could teach what you do to someone else, or does that just come naturally?
You could teach battle rap to someone. You could.
Can you?
I don't know if you could teach what I do, and that means
Charisma.
It sounds like I'm being like, oh, because I'm so good. It's not. For me, how do I put this? Like, you can teach rhyming and, intricate rhyme schemes and how to insult someone. You can try to teach rhythm. It's really hard to teach rhythm. But you can't teach someone to, exactly how to control a crowd and, my biggest strengths are things that I can't tell you how to do them. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if it's charisma or whatever, but something about controlling a crowd that I found out early on in life that I was able to do, that you just can't tell someone. You can't tell some introvert, socially awkward person to be like, yeah, man, just walk on stage and perch your arms out like a bird and then fucking shut them up like that. You can't really do that. You know what I mean? But some of it you can teach. You can teach like the basis. You know what I mean?
Were you a class clown in school? Did you demand
Absolutely.
the room?
Absolutely.
Is that where you think the very beginning of Pat's day started?
Probably. The very beginning, actually, I didn't realize until later. So there was a Halloween costume contest at my junior high. I was brand new. I was grade 7, I think. And everyone dressed up. You go in the gymnasium, whatever, and there's tons of people, all in their nice costumes and shit. And I just dressed up as a woman, like everyone else, like most people did. It's like, oh, I don't have a costume. I'm just gonna put on a dress and a wig and whatever. My sister was like, yeah, put these like balloons in your shirt. You know what I mean? I'm like, whatever, right? It was nothing. It was not good, right? And I get up on stage, and everyone introduces herself and says their outfit, et cetera, et cetera. And I walked up, and there's just everyone there, and I just kind of walked up to the mic, waited a couple seconds, and I was just like, what's up? And they all just, for some reason, still to this day, stupid, losing their mind, cheering. I'm like, and I wasn't popular. I was new. No one even knew me, but I just walked up, I was just like, what's up? And for some reason, the whole crowd was just losing it, loving it, and they're just like, I don't know what it was. I didn't realize till later. I was like, oh, yeah, that fucking happened. Why were they so excited? But sometimes, I guess, maybe it's like a presence thing, a charisma thing, a timing thing, maybe me waiting a few seconds and not saying anything after that. Maybe that wasn't the beginning. I have no idea, but me thinking back on that moment, it's like that might have been the time where I realized and didn't even know it that I had crowd control or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's the Larry David effect. Did nothing, walked into a room, people thought he was funny, but he had no idea why.
I've been doing that my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just sometimes takes people a little bit longer to figure it out.
And when I was older, and more popular, it was like, well, they know me, so they're like, oh, that's Pat. They want to cheer. But back then, I was not. I didn't know. They didn't know me, so I was thinking maybe it's just like a timing thing or like something. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I always wanted to entertain.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. Sometimes it's just you become an attention fiend, which really probably stems from like insecurities and being uncomfortable despite how comfortable you look. But yeah, man, it's just I always wanted the spotlight, demanded it.
Whenever I talk to people that know you really well, they say that you're an extremely hard worker. For example, I was talking to Quake, and he said when you were in L.A. before the battle, you locked yourself in your room and you wouldn't come out because you were working.
Yep.
I was wondering if that same discipline applied when you were younger in school. Did you apply yourself to work, or do you only apply yourself to things that you actually care about, like battle rap?
I wasn't good in school at all.
No.
Do
you think if you went back and you actually had to try, you could do something? Like you could pass a...
It depends, man. Like, I was diagnosed with ADD when I hate saying that. It's super huge, but they gave me pills early on, so I was like a robot. But because I was failing everything, man. Getting kicked out a lot, getting in trouble a lot, and failing everything. I couldn't just grasp a lot of shit. But I really, later on in life, I really just thought it was like more so selective hearing rather than just being like a stupid person. Like there's like if you're talking to me something super boring, to this day I'm just like I'm in another world. You know what I mean? But if it was something I really, really liked or was interested in, I'll nail it.
That's awesome.
That's what it was. You know what I mean? I wasn't great in school, but if there was something really, really good, I was going to nail it.
So you fell in love with the work.
If it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Like poetry, things like that. You know what I mean? Or anything like that I really, really excelled in. But school wasn't my thing, man. And I thought I was dumb for so fucking long, man. And the reason because other than, these days is a little different for kids, but I didn't like asking questions. And I really encourage kids to ask questions in school because when I would ask questions, or, anyone would ask questions and it was like the wrong one. Remember back then? Oh, everyone laugh at your point, idiot, all that shit. And you're like, well, I'm not asking another question again. Especially because I'm going to get mad and probably do something stupid and get in trouble like I used to. So I'm like, I'm not even asking questions, man. I'm going to sit back here and fucking draw dicks and fucking write raps. You know what I mean? Fuck that. So I think that's half of the reason why I was stupid in school. I did a speech to some kids. Well, talked to some kids in the gymnasium recently. I think they're from ages like 5 to 12. And I gave that example. I said, you guys know in class when you ask a question that's wrong and all the kids laugh at you, and I was expecting everyone to be like, yeah, and not one kid. I was like, that's never happened to anyone here? They're like, no. And I'm like, that's a good thing. Kids now are probably more sensitive to that. They're probably just like, no, we're not. That's bullying. You know what I mean? I think kids are a lot nicer than they used to be. So they never, not one of them has dealt with that where they asked a question that was wrong and they got mocked for it. That's a good thing. And hopefully in turn, kids become, smarter because, yeah, it's stunted. It was stunting my growth. Like
maybe it was stunting your confidence.
For sure, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't want to be that stupid person, right?
Yeah. You're a father, correct?
Yeah.
What are some values that you like to put into your child or children?
Children.
2
kids, yeah.
2 kids, congrats on that.
Thank you.
What are some values that you like to put into your children? I don't want to say career. How old are they?
10 and 4.
See, my dad was in the military, so it was like, okay, he's a diver. And when I was younger, I had surgery on my ear, and he punctured my eardrum, so I couldn't go more than 2 feet underwater. So I couldn't follow my dad's footsteps. And I look at you and I go, this guy's career is so different. And I essentially, before you came over, I was thinking of some questions to ask you. And I want to ask you about what are some guidelines or pieces of advice that you would give to your children when it comes to choosing a career, because it's so hard to do what you do, but at the same time, you love it. You fell in love with the work, but maybe at the same time, you want your children to be on a more of a steadier career. I was always wondering what your advice would be to that.
I never really had many career conversations. I have with my oldest daughter a few times, but she's, I want to be an actor. I also want to be a singer. I want to be this and type of stuff. And obviously I'm there to support it. I've helped her try to write songs and stuff like that before, but ultimately I don't think you know what you want when you're 10. You know what I mean? So I always just...
But you must pick up on things that they do. It's like, oh, he's naturally good at the playground when he's making the other kid laugh, or he's naturally good at taking direction and doing this. You must pick things up. She
can be an athlete if she wants. You know what I mean? Because she's super strong, super quick. But honestly, dude, man, at this point, the things that I put in their head the most is has nothing to do with career choices or what they want to be when they're older. Not yet, man. It's when I teach them, to be empathetic, to have patience, to not get discouraged so quick when they can't do something, to be understanding of other people, and but at the same time not feel like you have to just walk around on eggshells all day and tippy-toe. But really, I want them to be loving kids overall, man. Just good, loving kids with big hearts. You know what I mean? And the career shit, that'll come. I don't think any kid knows what's, there's no kid at 10 years old be like, yeah, I want to be a mortuary fucking makeup artist.
Yeah.
Or fucking, I want to be a, you know what I mean? That's a ridiculous one, but what are those people called?
I don't know.
You know when they put makeup on the dead bodies?
Oh, I know what you mean, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, I when you're 10, I don't know, man. When she starts getting a little older and asking questions, and I see what she's really, really excelling in, then maybe I'll help. But I don't want to have a selfish stance in it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, well, I know what basketball is like. I like basketball. Let me push basketball on them. Mm-hmm. But she's like, well, I like hockey. Me, I can't. I can barely even skate. I'm not going to be like, nope, get off them skates, just because, we'll see, man. We'll see where they go. my career is so different to the point where it's like you can't really. I don't even want to teach them to be like battle rappers. You know what I mean?
Well, that's my point.
Got you.
It's
If she wants to, like, I haven't seen anything. Like, she tells me I want to be an actor really bad. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yes. I'm like, well, I think we set her up with a YouTube channel one time, or like a light, and I gave her a nice ring light type of thing and phone, and she doesn't really do it that much. So we'll see, man, as time goes on. But right now, man, just being good fucking kids, man. Being good kids.
that's all you can do at that age. Just be a good person.
Be a good
young.
person, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna take you the farthest, man.
Yeah.
Teach them, like, I have good long talks with my daughter, like long, meaningful talks where I can tell that she's listening, and it means something to her, and yeah, at the end of the day, I just want her to be mindful of certain things, and just a nice, caring kid. That's all.
Like it.